Ramadan is a month of fasting and prayer. It brings us closer to Allah and each other. It brings us closer to Allah and each other.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Anbiya'i wal Mursaleen. Amma ba'd, fa'udhu billahi minash shaytanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalatu wassalamu alayka ya Rasulallah. Wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Habiballah. Assalatu wassalamu alayka ya Nabiyallah. Wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Nurallah. Prophet of mankind, the peace of our heart and mind, the most generous and kind, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, has stated, on the day of judgment, there would be no shade other than the arsh of Allah Azza wa Jal. Three types of people would be under the shade of the arsh. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam was asked, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, who are the people that would be under the shade? He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam replied, number one, the person removing the difficulty of any of my followers. Number two, the one reviving my sunnah. Number three, the one reciting salat upon me in abundance. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Inshallah, in this episode, I shall discuss about the excellence of Nafl fast. My dear viewers, in addition to Fard fast, we should also make a habit of having Nafl fast, as there are countless religious and worldly benefits for us in doing so. There's so much reward in it that one feels like fasting abundantly. The religious benefits include protection of faith, protection from hell, and the attainment of heaven. As for the worldly benefits, they include saving of time and money, the time and money spent on eating and drinking, a healthy digestive system, protection from many illnesses, and above all, the pleasure of Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah Azza wa Jal says in the 35th verse of Surah Ahzab, translation from Kanzul Iman, and fasting men and women who guard their chastity, and men and women who remember Allah Azza wa Jal much. For all of them, Allah Azza wa Jal has prepared forgiveness and great reward. Allah Azza wa Jal says in the 24th verse of Surah Haqqa, part 29, translation from Kanzul Iman, eat and drink with immense relish, recompense for that which you sent forth in the days gone by. Sayyiduna Waqi rahmatullahi ta'ala alayh has stated, the words the days gone by mentioned in this verse refer to the days of fasting in which people abstain from eating and drinking. Now let's look at some of the benefits of Nafil fast. Number one, Sayyiduna Qais bin Zayd Juhani radiyallahu ta'ala an has narrated the following statement of the noble Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Whoever keeps a Nafil fast, Allah Azza wa Jal will create a tree in heaven for him. The fruit of the tree will be smaller than a pomegranate and larger than an apple. It will be as sweet as honey, that which has not been separated from its comb, and as delicious as pure honey, that has been separated from its comb. On the day of judgment, Allah Azza wa Jal will feed the fruits of this tree to the fasting person. Number two, the Prophet of Rahmah, the intercessor of Ummah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, has stated, whoever keeps a Nafil fast, expecting reward, Allah Azza wa Jal will move him as far away from hell as is the distance of 40 years. Number three, the beloved and blessed Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam has stated, whoever keeps a Nafil fast for the pleasure of Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah Azza wa Jal will make the distance between him and hell a fast horse rider covers in 50 years. Number four, the Prophet of Rahmah, the intercessor of Ummah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, has stated, if someone keeps a Nafil fast, and even if he is given the whole earth full of gold as a reward, his reward will still remain incomplete. He will be given his reward on the day of judgment only. Number five, Sayyidina Utbah bin Abd Sulami radiyallahu ta'ala an has narrated that the beloved Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam has stated, whoever keeps one fard fast in the path of Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah Azza wa Jal will put him as far away from hell as is the distance between the 7 earths and the 7 skies. Whoever keeps a Nafl fast, Allah Azza wa Jal shall put him as far away from hell as is the distance between the earth and the sky. Number 6. Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala an has narrated the following merciful statement of the Holy Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam. Whoever fasts a day for the pleasure of Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah Azza wa Jal puts him as far away from hell as is the distance covered by a baby crow flying continuously till it grows old and dies. Number 7. Sayyidina Abu Umama radiyallahu ta'ala an has stated that he asked, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam, tell me any act that will benefit me. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam replied, keep fast, because no other deed is like it. He asked again, tell me any act. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam replied, keep fast, because no other deed is like it. He asked once again, tell me any act. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam replied, keep fast, because no other deed is like it. Number 8. It is stated in another narration that he radiyallahu ta'ala an asked the noble Rasul sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam, tell me such an act that benefits me. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam replied, make fast obligatory for you because there is nothing like it. Number 9. He stated in one more narration that he radiyallahu ta'ala and asked, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam, tell me such an act that leads me to the heaven. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam replied, make fast obligatory for you because there is no other deed like it. The narrator has said, smoke was never seen at the house of Sayyidina Abu Umama radiyallahu ta'ala an during the day, except on the occasion of the arrival of guests. In other words, he didn't eat during the day because he would always fast. Number 10. Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala an has reported that the Holy Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam has said, keep fast, you will become healthy. Travel, you will become rich. Number 11. Sayyidina Anas radiyallahu ta'ala an has said, on the day of resurrection, fasting people will rise from their graves and be recognized by the fragrance of fast. There shall be jugs of water on which there will be seals of musk, and the fasting people shall be told, eat, you are hungry yesterday. Drink, you were thirsty yesterday. Rest, you were tired yesterday. So they shall eat and rest. Whereas the other people shall be facing the difficulties of accountability in the state of thirst. Number 12. Sayyidina Abu Darda radiyallahu ta'ala an has said, every hair of a fasting person makes tasbih for him. On the day of judgment, there shall be a mat of gold embroidered with pearls and gems, and it will be as large as the earth. It will be full of heavenly foods, drinks, and fruits. The fasting people will eat and enjoy themselves, whereas other people shall be facing the difficulties of accountability. Number 13. Sayyidina Abdullah bin Rubah radiyallahu ta'ala an has said, on the day of judgment, dining mats shall be laid, and the fasting people will be eating from them before everyone else. Number 14. Sayyidina Huzaifa radiyallahu ta'ala an has narrated that the Holy Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam has said, the one reciting the kalima for the pleasure of Allah Azza wa Jal will enter heaven and will die with kalima iman. The one fasting for the pleasure of Allah Azza wa Jal will also die with it and will enter heaven. And the one giving charity for the pleasure of Allah Azza wa Jal will also die with it and will enter heaven. Number 15. Sayyidina Ibn Abbas radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma has stated that the Prophet ar-Rahmah, the intercessor of Ummah, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, sent Sayyidina Abu Musa radiyallahu ta'ala an for a sea battle. One dark night when the sails of the ship had been removed, a voice was heard from Ghaib. O people of the ship, stop. Shall I tell you what Allah Azza wa Jal has decided for himself? Sayyidina Abu Musa radiyallahu ta'ala an said, if you can, do tell us. The voice said, Allah Azza wa Jal has decided that whoever bears thirst on an extremely hot day for his pleasure, Allah Azza wa Jal will give him water to drink on the day of extreme thirst, which is Judgment Day. Imam Abu Bakr Abdullah al-Ma'ruf Ibn Abid Dunya has stated in Kitab al-Ju' ever since the day Sayyidina Abu Musa radiyallahu ta'ala an heard the voice of Ghaib, he would fast even on such a hot day when other people would normally take off their extra clothes due to extreme heat. Number 16. Sayyidatuna Ansariya has stated, once the Prophet ar-Rahmah, the intercessor of Ummah, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, came to me. I presented some food to him. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam said, you also eat. I replied, I have kept fast. Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam said, angels keep making dua for the fasting person's forgiveness as long as someone eats before him. The following words are also stated in another narration, until the eater fills his stomach. Number 17. Sayyiduna Buraidah radiyallahu ta'ala an has narrated that the Prophet ar-Rahmah, the intercessor of Ummah, the owner of Jannah, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, said to Sayyiduna Bilal radiyallahu ta'ala an, O Bilal, come and have breakfast. Sayyiduna Bilal radiyallahu ta'ala an replied, I have kept fast. Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam said, we are eating our sustenance, while the sustenance of Bilal radiyallahu ta'ala an is increasing in paradise. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam then said, O Bilal, do you know that angels keep making dua for the fasting person's forgiveness, and his bones make tasbih as long as someone eats before him? Number 18. Sayyidatuna Aisha Siddiqa radiyallahu ta'ala anha has narrated that the beloved and blessed Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam has said, whoever dies in the state of fast, Allah Azza wa Jal will record the reward of fast till the day of judgment in his book of deeds. Subhanallah Azza wa Jal. Fortunate is the Muslim that meets his death in the state of fast. Death during any righteous deed is an extremely good omen. For instance, dying in the state of wudu, or whilst offering salah, death during the journey to Medina, or demise in Madinatul Munawwara, departing this life in Makkatul Mukarramah, Mina, Muzdalifah, or Arafat during Hajj, or dying during a Sunnah-inspiring Madani Qafila of Da'at Islami, for learning the Sunnah in the company of Rasul's devotees. These are all blessed privileges that are only gifted to fortunate ones. Describing the pious desires of the honorable companions, radiyallahu ta'ala anhum, Sayyidina Khaysama radiyallahu ta'ala an said, the companions would like to meet their death during a good deed, such as Hajj, Umrah, fighting in the path of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, fast in Ramadan, etc. Death during a pious act is granted to the fortunate people only. In this respect, let's listen to one of the blessings of the collective i'tikaf organized by Da'at Islami, a global and non-political religious movement of the Quran and Sunnah, and make a firm intention to remain a associated with the Madani environment, adopted Islami throughout our entire lives. 60-year-old uncle Kalu from Madinatul Awliya, Ahmedabad, India, attended a collective i'tikaf organized by Dawat Islami during the last 10 days of Ramadan, 2004, 1425 after Hijri, in Shahi Masjid, Ahmedabad. Even though he was already associated with the Madani environment of Dawat Islami, but this was the first time that he attended the collective i'tikaf with Rasul's devotees. He learned a lot during the i'tikaf and started offering salah in the first row of the masjid enthusiastically, which is the second Madani in'am out of 72 Madani in'amat. On the 2nd of Shawwal, the second day of Eid al-Fitr, he traveled with the Sunnah inspiring Madani Qafila for 3 days in the company of Rasul's devotees. On the 11th of Shawwal, 1425 after Hijri 2004, just 5 or 6 days after he had returned from the Qafila, he went to the market to purchase something, as there was the possibility of missing the first row of the Jamaat in the masjid in case of staying in the market any longer. He reached the masjid before the uttering of the adhan, leaving each and every sort of activity in the market. As soon as he stood up after performing his wudu, he suddenly fell onto the ground, recited the kalima and salat ala nabi, and his soul left his body. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Alhamdulillah Azawajal, due to the blessings of the collective i'tikaf, the enthusiasm for acting upon the second Madani in'am of performing salah in the first row took Uncle Qalu from the market's environment of heedlessness to the merciful atmosphere of the masjid, where he was blessed with the privilege of reciting the kalima with salat ala nabi at the time of his death. Subhanallah Azawajal, the one reciting kalima at the time of death will succeed in the grave, as well as on the day of resurrection, as the beloved and blessed Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam has said, the one whose last words are La ilaha illallah will enter heaven. I pray to Allah Azza that He gives us all the ability that we gain enthusiasm of doing Nafl fast as well as the fard ones. Ameen. Bijahin Nabil Ameen. Sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Sallu ala al-Habib. Sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad. Sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam.
Ramadan is a month of fasting and prayer. It brings us closer to Allah and each other. It brings us closer to Allah and each other.